What's up, guys? I'm Daniel Knightley, and this is Knightley Disclosure, providing you with fact-driven, non-biased coverage on the UAP/UFO issue. This is nothing short of astounding. We've got a first-hand whistleblower, another Green Beret, by the way. Whistleblower was the first one. We've got another one now, and that's thanks to Jesse Michaels from American Alchemist. So I'm going to read a short paragraph of what he's put on his X account, which I'll leave in a link below for you guys to have a look at. But yeah, this is what he said so far. So Randy Anderson is a Green Beret and an American hero. In March of 2014, he was taken to an underground facility at Naval Surface Warfare Centre, Crane in Indiana, to a secure secret compartmentalized facility titled Off-World Technology. He was shown an orb levitating above a podium and a gauntlet emitting holographic, hieroglyphic looking text. This second object reportedly killed the person retrieving it. I have back-channeled with Navy contacts who say that while Wright-Patterson reverse engineers the Air Force's most exotic retrieve technology, Crane does this for the Navy. So now we have two separate facilities that provide reverse engineering resources to both the US Navy and the US Air Force, but they're separate. They're not the same. That's new news to me. I didn't know that. Randy also still occasionally works contract jobs at Area 51. Again, bombshell allegations here. Turns out he is who he says he is. And obviously Jesse's done his due diligence there. But also he said that at Area 51, he has seen electrogravitic anti-gravity triangle-shaped aircraft, TR-3B, flying around the test site. Randy's credentials are beyond reproach. We have his DD-214 as evidence of his service and his weapons training certificate from Crane, providing he was stationed there. The implications of this interview cannot be overstated. Although in many ways, as he'll admit, it begets more questions than answers. If anyone has had a similar experience or can add any insight on what Randy saw, please reach out to me or UAP Gerb, who introduced me to Randy and is the best up-and-coming UFO researcher in the world right now. That's UAP Gerb right here. Go follow him. He's going to be releasing some mind-blowing information in the coming months and years. On a final note, I want to say that I had to personally convince Randy to do this. He was reticent to come out at all and extremely vigilant around not doing or saying anything here for self-gain. In fact, there was a section of my monologue dedicated to discussing his deployments and sacrifice for the country on the battlefield. He wanted that taken out. So if we get any blowback for this piece, which I'm sure we will, it should be directed solely at me, which is Jesse Michaels in this case. A full episode in reply below. So, I mean, well, that's a lot to take in, isn't it? That's a lot to take in. The fact that this man is sitting here basically saying that, yeah, it's real. And, this isn't the first Green Beret we've had. And we've had two Green Berets come forwards, one of which blew up a Tesla truck, as we know, Matthew Whistleblower, and now this guy.
I think our technology is well ahead of what people know. I mean, I know it's well ahead of what people understand or think where we are significantly. Because just where I was, right place, right time, I saw some of that. And there's technology out there that I think would blow people's minds if they knew that we had that capability. And during that time, a green orb type object had flown over, and my buddy had seen it, and he looked up at the cadre that was there and mentioned asked him if he had seen it, and he said, he looked down at my buddy and said, "Are you sure you saw that?" And my friend was like, "Yeah, I saw it as green orb." And he says, "Because if you did see it, we got a lot of paperwork to do." And my buddy kind of got the hint, and he said, "Yeah, maybe I didn't see it." And he's like, "That's better." And they kind of brushed it off. This object was a metallic basketball-sized sphere, and it was above a podium, and looked like it was just levitating above the podium.
Levitating above the podium. Mm-hmm. So there was space between the sphere and the podium itself.
Correct. And I remember at one point, like, trying to angle myself, like, what? How is that?
Do you think it could have been some sort of magnetic levitation? Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
But it's just levitating there.
It was just levitating.
Did it look like a prosaic, like this wood table where if you were to, touch it, it would act like a normal object? Did it look holographic? What did it look like? That's a good question. What stood out to me was the way the metal looked. It looked unnatural.
I mean, again, the claims require a substantial amount of evidence, I'm guessing. Now, what he does next, I don't know. But with the rate of which information is coming out right now, I wouldn't be surprised if there are other plans. I don't know if this is even, I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not sure, but maybe Stephen Greer's behind some of this. I don't know. Maybe some of these are people that he's represented for a really long time, or at least the 700 plus people that he supposedly has in the rafters waiting to come down and, you know, blow the lid off this thing. I don't know. But just reading that is just unbelievable. I mean, the hieroglyphics thing, I wonder if that's related to anything to do with Egypt, or if it's Egyptian text, because then we'd have to bring Graham Hancock into this, because as I've said before, Graham Hancock indirectly is involved, if you like, in the UAP disclosure. He's discovering things from our history which simply don't make sense as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't make sense, some of this stuff. So I think we really need to sit back and think about what this means for us, how this is going to be, you know, panning out. You know, we had these extraordinary claims from you know, other podcasts and stuff talking about this exact same thing. Sean Ryan, you know, with Matthew Livelsberger, and you know, apparently there's this imminent information coming through with Dr. Greer as well. But like, you know, it's never ending, guys. It's never ending, this stuff. And I've always said, and I'll keep saying this until I'm blue in the face, this is a form of education for everybody, okay? Whether you like it or not, this is happening. We've already seen the congressional movements, but we have to accept that this is a reality we're going to be faced with. And therefore, we must move forwards objectively, trying to work out what's real and what's disinformation. As we know, there are plenty of entities out there which I believe, based on the research I've done, are counterintelligence operations, Arrow being one of them. So we have to be careful and protect someone like this and make sure he doesn't go there. He probably knows that already. But a lot of people that are in, you know, maybe in scientific departments that are doing research on these things, maybe they don't know any better because they haven't done their research, or at least are just not in the loop as much on where to go. So from the outside looking in, it looks like Arrow could be a respectable place to go because it's part of the government to talk about these things. But as we know, having Dr. Kirkpatrick there for Kosolsky, you know, people caught him out too many times. He was caught lying and all sorts of things. So that's why he was swiftly removed and then replaced with someone who is meant to be more trustworthy, which I don't believe is the case at all. And all you need to do is look at that Senate hearing that took place on the 19th of November. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, the whole thing was a gaslighting exercise. It was unbelievable. You know what's really funny? A lot of these people really do think we're that stupid. They actually believe we're that stupid. And I just think it's ridiculous. But this is really interesting stuff here. The links are going to be in the description for all this for you, so for you guys to look at it objectively. I strongly recommend you follow American Alchemy on YouTube. He's on here. He does a fantastic job of doing these really comprehensive, short-based documentaries, about 40 minutes to an hour long. They're really, really good. He's really leading the way. I think he's like the young James Fox of our generation, to be honest. So I'm sure James will be passing on the torch to him when that day comes. But really, really cool to see this. I think these guys are getting more confident. I think these whistleblowers specifically are definitely coming out in their drones, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this over the next coming weeks, especially with claims like what Ross Coulthard said about, you know, all hell is going to break loose towards beginning of this year. Now, obviously, there is a time frame on that. I'm giving Ross at least the first quarter of this year. If it goes past that point and nothing's happened, yeah, there might be a little bit of credibility there. I don't know. I mean, I love what Ross is doing. You know, anytime he has said anything, my ears prop up. I pay attention almost immediately. So I think we need to be very mindful of that. And the same with Dr. Greer too. I hope that the stuff he is saying does come to fruition, and we can find this information that's shared so that we can start reporting on it. But Randy Anderson, God bless you. Well done. You're a very brave man. And the size of the balls on this man cannot be understated either. So you heard it first here from DK, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.